Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're seeing right now in the NFL offseason is something quite intriguing, especially when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. The league, as you know, is in a bit of a lull, with most of the big-name free agents already signed or off the market. But that doesn't mean there are still some interesting moves to talk about. And one of those moves that has everyone talking, especially among Falcons fans, is the recent signing of a veterans wide receiver, Amari Cooper, who's set to join Atlanta for the upcoming season. Yes, you heard it right. Amari Cooper, a guy who has been around the league for a whole decade now, who's seen a little bit of everything, is making his way to Atlanta, and this could be a game changer for the Falcons' offense. But let's back up a little and talk about how we got here, what this signing means, and why it's such a big deal. First off, Cooper is no stranger to NFL fans. He's a five-time Pro Bowler, a guy who has consistently been productive, especially during his prime years. Remember, he's been through quite a bit playing for the Raiders, then moving to the Dallas Cowboys, followed by a stint with the Cleveland Browns, and most recently a short spell with the Buffalo Bills. Each of these stops has seen Cooper display his talents, with 1-0-yard seasons and plenty of highlight reel catches along the way. Despite some ups and downs, especially last season with Buffalo, where he only managed 20 catches for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns in those 8 games, he's still a player who can make a real difference when given the opportunity. And that's where the Falcons come in. You see, the Falcons, as many of you know, have been in a bit of a rebuilding phase. After parting ways with franchise legend Matt Ryan, the team has been looking for stability at quarterback, trying to find that perfect fit. Kirk Cousins was a name thrown around, but things didn't quite work out, and now the spotlight is on their young quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., who, despite being just in his second year, has shown flashes of potential that could be truly exciting if given the right weapons. The Falcons have been quite aggressive in their draft approach, investing heavily in offensive playmakers like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. These players are supposed to be the foundation of Atlanta's offense for years to come. But a team isn't just built on young talent alone, and that's why adding a veteran like Cooper makes so much sense. Now, let's think about what Cooper can bring to this Falcons team. He's a guy who's been able to post over 200 yards in a season as recently as 2023, which for a team looking to elevate its passing game is a huge plus. Even if he's not the same player he was at his peak, his experience, route-running ability, and knack for making clutch catches can add a layer of reliability that the Falcons desperately need. Especially when you consider the fact that Atlanta's top receivers right now are London, Darnell Mooney, and Ray McCloud. Cooper, if he can turn back the clock just a bit, could step in as the WR2, providing that veteran presence and consistent production that can help take some pressure off London and Mooney. And let's not forget, the Falcons' offense has been somewhat inconsistent, and adding a player of Cooper's caliber could be exactly what they need to push them into playoff contention. This move also fits perfectly into the Falcons' overall philosophy. They are clearly trying to build a team that's competitive now, not just in the future. The front office, led by Terry Fontenot, has shown a willingness to make bold moves, whether it's in the draft or through free agency, to put Atlanta in the best position to succeed. By bringing in a seasoned veteran like Cooper, they're not just adding a player, they're making a statement that they're serious about winning now. They're betting on their coaching staff, on their young quarterback, and on their offensive system to come together and produce results. And if Cooper can be even close to the player he was a couple of years ago, his presence could be the spark that ignites this Falcons offense. Of course, there are some questions that come with this signing. Will Cooper be able to adapt to Atlanta's system quickly? Will he be able to mesh with Penix Jr. and the rest of the offensive unit? And perhaps most importantly, can he stay healthy? These are all valid concerns, especially given his recent injury history, but the Falcons have a solid track record of integrating veteran players effectively. They're also working with a coaching staff that's known for tailoring their schemes to fit their personnel. So, while there's no guarantee, the potential upside is significant. If Cooper can produce at the level he did in 2023, this could be one of the smartest moves the Falcons have made in recent years. Now, let's talk a little about the broader context of the NFC South. The division has always been competitive, with teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, and Carolina Panthers all vying for supremacy. But with Brady long gone, and the Saints still trying to find consistency at quarterback, the Falcons have a real shot this season to rise to the top. Their defense has been improving, especially with recent draft picks like Jalen Walker and James Pierce, which signals a strategic shift to strengthen their front seven. But the offense is where this signing of Cooper could have the most impact. If they manage to get him integrated smoothly and he can produce the way he did in his prime, Atlanta could be looking at a much more dangerous team. And it's not just about this season. This move also sets a tone for the future. The Falcons are clearly trying to build a team that can compete for years to come, and adding a veteran like Cooper is part of that plan. They want leadership, experience, and a proven track record of making plays when it counts. Cooper's ability to stretch the field, make contested catches, and serve as a reliable target in crunch time makes him a perfect fit for what the Falcons are trying to accomplish. Plus, his presence can serve as a mentorship for the younger receivers, helping them develop faster and become more consistent threats. So, as we look ahead to training camp and the preseason, there's a lot to be excited about. Will Cooper be the missing piece that puts Atlanta over the top? Will he be able to stay healthy enough to contribute consistently? These are questions that only time will answer, but one thing is clear. This signing signals the Falcons' serious intent to contend in 2025. They're not just doing this to fill out the roster, they're making a statement that they're here to compete, that they're building something sustainable, and that they're ready to take on the NFC South with all they've got. And honestly, Falcons fans, this is the kind of move that gets us all hyped up. We've seen glimpses of promise in recent seasons, but now, with Cooper's addition, the offense suddenly looks more complete, more dangerous, more capable of putting up points against the league's best. It's a gamble, sure, but it's a calculated one, and one that could pay huge dividends if everything clicks. The NFC South is wide open, and Atlanta is making sure they're not left behind. The team's front office is clearly betting on their young core, their coaching staff, and now veteran leadership to turn this season into something special. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move? Do you see Cooper making a real impact in Atlanta? Are you optimistic about this season's chances? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and all the latest on your favorite team. So stay tuned, keep the passion alive, and let's keep this Falcons family growing stronger every day. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!